Alright, guys, how are you? My name is Helen Zulupiri on this PAWEN and BRENA Productions collaboration interview as we prepare for the PAWEN Awards 2025. We are just chatting with our previous winners so they tell us how they felt winning and also just to know their stories. These women, guys, are so motivating. I hope you guys are learning something. Every time I sit down with a woman, I'm picking one or two things that I'm planning on putting into practice. So today I'm chatting with the powerful lady, an engineer. I'm talking about Yawenda. How are you?
Hi, how are you? Nice to speak to you, Helen. It's a pleasure to be here today.
Thank you. I'm so happy that you made time to come and see us. We know you're a busy lady, so for you to make time for us, we're very grateful.
Oh, the pleasure is all mine. It really is.
Okay. So Yawenda Akinola is a chartered engineer, innovation strategist, a sustainability advocate. These are amazing. I know I always get excited when I come across women that are doing so well in spaces that are regarded to be mostly dominated by men. How did this journey start for you? Say, I'm going to be an engineer.
I guess like all good stories, it started when I was quite young. I had a massive interest in the built environment in buildings, and I would spend hours on end really trying to design buildings. My mom's an artist, and so I spent a lot of time in our front living room using her paper resources to build models of buildings. For a very long time, I thought architecture was probably going to be the route that I took, but almost quite last minute, my mom encouraged me to explore engineering. Engineering, I guess, in its broad sense of being able to design water supply systems, electrical systems, mechanical systems, agricultural systems as well. And I would say, a little bit reluctantly, I thought I would, explore it. I did, and I haven't looked back. I grew up in Western Nigeria. I grew up in Ibadan. Engineering, just seemed like something that, was super applicable to, every aspect of my life, as it is applicable to every aspect of anybody's lives. And so it was such a practical way to express creativity, to bring tangible impact to society, and so I gave it the opportunity. I gave it the room to grow and become something in my head, and then I went off to do a degree in engineering.
Beautiful. That is beautiful, and I like that the encouragement came from your mother. I was expecting to hear maybe my dad was an engineer and I got motivated, but I like that this whole thing came from another woman to another woman. Beautiful. So you are also an advocate for sustainability. How do you make sure that in your job you make sure that you are being sustainable in everything that you're doing?
I think, the way I think of sustainability, I just see it as part of what you would expect any engineer actually to think of when they're designing systems. It equates to being responsible, and being responsible in the sense that you really think through the materials that you use. You think through the impact it has on a society. You think through the impact it has on the environment as well too. So in my view, it's almost the non-negotiable that you need to have as an engineer. I think it's your way of also being creative in terms of the way you design solutions. So whether it is designing a system with solar panels or designing a water system that, recycles the water, it's pushing on the boundaries of what is possible, but with the underlying principle that whatever products or systems you design as an engineer, that you're ensuring that it brings minimal adverse impact to society as well as the planet.
Nice. So what is one thing that you've designed that sits close to your heart? You're like, I designed this with obviously everything you design, you put in your heart, but there's something that probably means a lot to you personally. What is that one thing?
Oh, geez. That's a very, that is probably one of the most difficult questions for me to answer. Um, but oh gosh, really difficult question, you know. But if I'm allowed three,
Okay,
I,
okay, let's hear three.
okay,
Let's hear
yeah,
three.
okay. I'm taking liberties here, but one of the first projects I designed was a rainwater harvesting system, and it was so special to me because it helped me understand the fundamentals of, sustainable design. It was a rainwater harvesting system that took the water from the roof, but instead of taking it right down to the ground and pumping it back, it was a tank that sat in the walls within the build of the structure of the building, and was used to flush toilets. So where you'd normally have a cistern, this tank that collected water, used gravity to flush the toilets. I would, refer to that as one of my most special projects, because it just gave me the courage and the ability to think outside the box. So to really take sustainability to the next level, right? And then on the other, kind of extreme of that, I've worked on the design of a water park in southern China. It was a water park, for anybody listening on, if they think of Atlantis in Dubai, it was the equivalent in China. It was a water park with lots of lazy rivers. I think a 48 or 49 story hotel, dolphin stadiums, the works. And why that is so special to me, recently I saw on Instagram a young family, and I think the mom is Nigerian and the dad's Chinese, and they've got this most precious, beautiful girl. And they took her to the hotel and the water park in southern China, and just seeing the stunning videos of her enjoying the facilities at the hotel really just filled my heart with so much joy.
I can imagine.
And it really did. And of course, being Nigerian, having lived in China as well, it just was such a powerful statement to how impactful engineering is. And my third one, I would say, the third project I've worked on work experience weeks for young people all over the world. And I'm truly passionate about ensuring that, irrespective of where young people are from, that they've got access to some fantastic engineering knowledge. So thank you for giving me the liberty of three, but those are three things that I'm really passionate about and
No,
proud
but
of.
I do understand all the three are so amazing. So amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, so you got recognized for among the 100 most influential engineers in Europe by Financial Times and Inclusive Boards. Here's one thing. You get recognized, you are a lady, and you are being recognized in Europe, not in Africa where you come from. What did that mean to you?
I think it's a great testament to the universal language of engineering, which I think is super important. I think a lot of times people say, oh, it's a man's world, it's, you have to have a certain type of background. But actually, what the recognition means is it doesn't matter where you're from. I basically had all of my, fundamental education in Africa. You can excel any and everywhere. I think there is, you have to have, the motivation has to be right. I think you have to put the work in, you have to work hard. But the opportunities are there. And yes, the challenges are there. I'm not going to be shy about that. But we as Africans are extremely well placed to bring incredible impact and knowledge to the world.
Okay, beautiful. What are some of the challenges that you faced in your journey? You can just give us one or two.
One or two. I think, like always, you turn up into a meeting where there's a certain perception, right? And that perception is not an engineer can be a Black woman. And so, of course, right, that becomes a challenge, right? Because you don't quite look like who they are expecting to see. And sometimes you have to work through that perception challenge. And that has been a challenge, right? But I've been able to overcome it, and many other people are. Yes, it requires you to work harder. But I always say to people, the fact that I've had to work 3 times harder means I'm 3 times better at it.
Love that. I love that. That's beautiful. So I just want to quickly understand how you balance your life, because you have so many, firstly, accolades to your name, but also currently you're serving as the Vice President for Institution of Engineering and Technology. You're the board chair for IET Knowledge Services and Solutions. You're a non-executive director at the Mid-Forge Patient Capital Investment Firm Supply. I'm just understanding, how do you balance your life in all these?
Honestly, I have to say it's the grace of God. Because it really is, because so I'm very intentional in some of the engagements and some of the roles I take up. I'm very intentional. For me, it needs to have a purpose. I need to be clear about why I'm doing it as well. And so, I've gotten to a point where I take on roles because I'm very aligned with the ambition, with the mission as well. So for me, right, the starting point is, it's not for the accolades or for the titles, it's for the opportunity to bring tangible impact. And so I realized, that the commitment needs to be there. So when I take on roles, it's essential as well. If I think of a practical day-to-day, it's essential for me to work with, as many of the team in the organization. So ensure that I'm leveraging, the support that is available to me as well too. I've got an executive assistant who supports with scheduling. That really helps, because the admin sometimes gets in the way. But also what I do is, because I'm being intentional about the different things, I'm able to connect the dots a bit better. So my education engagements, I can kind of think of all of them, in the same light, in the same vein. I know they're different, but I can kind of give it the same energy and connect them to each other and make sure I'm benefiting, or all of the different things are benefiting from each other. With the, board roles and the investment stuff, again, I'm connected into, certain organizations. I can kind of connect those organizations to make sure that they're benefiting from each other. And of course, right, there's family life. There's, my work as a technical director for the EMEA region. And yes, it just means I have to be very, very efficient with my time. But then everything and the intentionality behind it just means I'm giving it my everything. So if I'm spending 15 minutes on it, I'm giving it my full attention. I always say to colleagues in meetings, I say, I've not come here for the lunch. I've not come here for the biscuits and the tea. I'm here because I want to bring impact. And actually, in the 15 minutes that I'm there, I'm going to give it everything. And sometimes that means me being very courageous in what I say, pushing the team, to do better, sharing ideas and thoughts that I think would bring progress to the organizations.
Okay, perfect. 2023, you won PAWEN Career Influencer of the Year. How was that, and what does PAWEN mean to you?
That came as a big, massive surprise, and I was so grateful for the recognition. Um, for me, why it was even more important was because I sometimes being based outside of Africa, and I spent time across Africa, but being based outside of Africa, I've always felt, um, you know, I wouldn't say the word, probably like almost kind of, I felt that imposter syndrome, right? To a certain extent, to say, I know that I want to be, working on projects and even to a greater capacity across Africa, but I'm based in the UK. And
Mm.
so over the years, I've put in effort to be present, in Africa. I spent time, in Nigeria, in Ghana, and I've been in Rwanda, I've been, in Kenya. Earlier in the year, I spent time in Nairobi. And so to receive that was incredible validation that I can continue to do what I do, to empower and support initiatives across Africa, even though I'm not currently based 100% of my time in Africa. That meant so much to me. It just gave me even more encouragement to be recognized doing, a tangible work there. Gave me, um, there's a saying, to whom much is given, much is expected. Um,
Yeah.
and it made me really feel that, okay, Yawenda, there's much more work to be done, but this is your license, this is your mandate to carry on doing that work. And of course, PAWEN is well known, incredibly reputable, recognized for, fantastic impact. And really to be part of the community, it is a blessing. It really is.
Great, great. So, any last words to that young lady who is contemplating between careers, and a lot of people sometimes they don't know what to choose, they don't know what to go for. They're listening to society, but this also their heart is telling you something else. What would you love to encourage them?
I would say our world needs you, and our world needs you to turn up in your own unique way. I would say look for that thing that you're super passionate about, and don't feel you have to find an answer right now. What is most important is for you to take that first step, make those email connections, reach out to somebody on LinkedIn, have a conversation, really nurture the idea and the ambition that you have. I would say put yourself out there, be bold enough to take opportunities, even when you feel that you are not competent enough, or the right person for it. Sometimes our minds get in the way of us taking the necessary steps. I would say look for your support network. It might be one person, it might be two people, but look for those people who give you inspiration and bring encouragement to your everyday. And I'm saying it, so Yawenda Akinola is saying it, you are good enough, absolutely good enough.
Great. Thank you so much for making time, Yawenda. We really, really appreciate, and thank you for chatting with us.
Oh, thank you so much. It's been a real pleasure. Thank you.
Alrighty, so this has been me, Helen, chatting with Yawenda Akinola. I hope you guys have learned something. Like I always say, these ladies, you heard the stories, so inspiring. So we keep getting inspired and keep watching out for all the other ladies that we'll be bringing going forward. From me, your girl, Helen, and PAWEN community, it's bye-bye.